here at the Hack, here in the lobby in our home of Coach's Corner. And again, live on YouTube. Welcome, Paul McDonald. I am your host again this evening for another edition of Coach's Corner. Homecoming week. A lot of festivities have already happened. Still more yet to come. But we are going to talk football here as we do with our opening segment. And we're going to start off with the 8th grade football team, junior high football, and Coach Tom Milbrandt joining us. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having us, Paul.
Well, I appreciate you joining us. And, junior high team, the future, well, they're Highlanders now, but the future of the varsity, about 3 years away from getting going. Now, you guys played here against Central Cass on Monday night. How did things go against the Squirrels?
They played hard. They have a lot of talent over in Central Cass, as you can see from their varsity success the last few years, and I think that's trickled into their junior high with the numbers and the participation. They have a lot of kids out and a lot of good athletes. So we were proud of our guys for going in there and giving a good effort. Faced a lot of adversity here to start the year. We have low numbers, and then you throw in some ineligibility and some injuries, and we've had to have some 7th graders come in and fill in, so we're able to play. So we're thankful for them for that. But just proud of their effort. When we get that switch, that intensity turned on, they're a fun football team to watch, and I think the future is going to be pretty bright if those kids all stay out and participate.
Had a chance to watch them here against Wahpeton a week or two ago, and on both the 7th and 8th grade, and the talent's there. There's some kids that have just that natural talent. Now, is it you as a junior high coach to kind of mold that and kind of get that individual to a good level, and also maybe see what position would be suited for them?
Yeah, and that's interesting at junior high. They get to us coming from Thunder, and at Thunder there's certain weight restrictions and things of who can carry the ball. We don't have that in junior high, and of course when they get to you, everybody wants to play receiver, everybody wants to run the ball, everybody wants to play quarterback, but the fact is you need some people up front before you can have any success, no matter what you want to do, run the ball, pass the ball, it starts up front. So we've had a lot of guys know multiple positions, and when you're low numbers, that's a very important key to any football team, of guys stepping up and doing whatever's best to help the team. And guys are doing that on the 8th grade squad for us.
As I mentioned, they're the future of Highlander football down the line. You as coaches now, a new varsity coach, so a new system that you guys are working in. Are you running the same system in a smaller sense that the varsity is?
Yeah, just like when Coach Rourke was here, we'd always meet before the season. We went with Coach Ingen as well. You know, what are you changing? What is your terminology? And we try to mimic that the best we can. We do scale it back a little bit, of course, with the young talent we have, but we want to call the same plays. We want to call the same motion, the directions, the holes. We want all that to be the same so that when they get to him, they don't have to relearn everything. So we don't want to run our own system. Do we run some wrinkles? Absolutely, just to fit our guys the best. But yeah, we try to run whatever the varsity program is doing, so next year those 8th graders are ready.
And, of course, a question I'll ask Jimmy Howard, who coaches the 7th grade. I'll ask you, too. You talked about Thunder football. Obviously, you still need to teach some fundamentals with these athletes, but is it good that they already have been introduced to tackle football and know that this is a physical sport?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anything that they come to you with as far as fundamentals in any sport, that's going to progress. Do we still hammer fundamentals? Absolutely. Every day we try to do tackling fundamentals, because there's nothing more frustrating as a coach than watching arm tackle after arm tackle after arm tackle, to do it the right way and to do it safely. Yeah. I think football is getting a bad rap of not being safe. My opinion, it's never been safer. The equipment's never been better. The techniques are starting at the professional level, the college to high school to junior high. They know what the best practice is, and we try to do that in our fundamental drills as well.
And the rules are there to help with the safety factor as well. Now, I think Wahpeton is next on the schedule. You get the Huskies again. Now, remember, Gilbertson's a pretty good quarterback. So,
yeah. Hopefully no Husky fans are watching this, but we certainly know who to prepare for. Brandon Myers is our Dan Quinn in the booth here that's going to just draw up a defensive strategy to not let him get 472 yards or whatever he had that night. Yeah, we're looking forward to the rematch. That was a barn burner, 32-30. Makes the offensive coach pretty happy when you're able to move the ball like that. But we were in that game, and that's what's been frustrating with that 8th grade. They've been playing hard. They've been in the game. They deserve a win. So I'm hoping we can go to Wahpeton, that we can get that intensity switch flipped on and take it to the Huskies.
And every game's a learning experience for these guys. Is that something, too, that they learn from what happened in that game and get it ready for the next game?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another benefit that we didn't have growing up. You know, we used to watch games on VHS tape, meet up with coaches and swap film. Now everything's online. So if you want to watch, you know, did you do your job? Did you make every rep count? We've been stressing that. Every rep in practice counts. You get to a game, every rep counts. Because you got 10 other guys counting on you on the field. So watching film, evaluating yourself, I think can be a big advantage, too, to get yourself ready for the next game.
What does this team do well, Tom?
I think just play hard together. Last game, we talked to 7th and 8th grade both. They got to the ball. They got to the ball. They tackled. And when they can do that without being reminded, everybody to the ball, play till the whistle, block until the whistle. You know, just give everything you got every single play. And I think they're going to start to figure that out. It sure seems like they are. And this squad, the 7th and 8th grade, are a very hardworking bunch. If they stick it out, they continue to play. They have fun playing. I think the future is going to be in good hands.
And I think the Wahpeton game is the last road game, because then after this, I think you'll be at Hannah Field the rest of the season.
Yeah, and we find it kind of difficult because we have a lot of games coming up where it sounds like they have one team, and then you know, what do we do as coaches? We want to play the 7th graders. We want to play the 8th graders. Do they have more 8th graders? Do they have more 7th graders? So you don't put our kids in a bad spot there physically. So the schedule has been a little challenging that way, finding people that have 2 teams. You know, that we didn't notice that when we first started coaching. But yeah, we are excited for some home games. Obviously, not a lot of our games are very far away. But Wahpeton is our longest road trip on Tuesday. But we're looking forward to heading there. And another thing with our coaches, not a lot of junior high staffs has had the continuity that we've had. 4 or 5 years maybe that we've had the same 4 coaches, and I think that helps as well.
And helps the kids know who's going to be the coach when they put that uniform on and come up to that next level. They know who it's going to be.
Absolutely.
And it's a comfort level, if you will. And you guys are all on the sidelines during games, unless you are getting your guys ready for their game. But really, all 4 of you are on the sidelines during that 7th grade game, and at the same time for the 8th graders.
Yep, and yeah, we might have separate 7th and 8th grade coach, but we certainly do it together and collaboratively. So, just a shout out to all those coaches. Brandon and Preston are both of our assistant Myers, and yeah, we appreciate them as well.
All right. Well, Tom, I appreciate you stopping by and chatting, and we look forward to that next home Highlander game at Hannah Field here. Good luck against Wahpeton, number 7. Just keep an eye on them, and you'll be okay, and we'll go from there. But, Tom, again, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yes, thanks again for having us, Paul.
You bet. That is Coach Tom Milbrandt from the 8th grade Highlander football team. We'll be back with Coach Jimmy Howard, the 7th grade coach from Highlander football. Coming up as Coach's Corner continues from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network, and now we head into the 7th grade football world. And Coach Jimmy Howard joining us. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic as usual. Back for another year of Highlander football, and again another year with you working with the 7th graders. And I guess I asked Tom this, but you're the first beneficiary of those Thunder kids coming up. And how's it been for you with that transition?
It's always interesting with the 7th graders, I think, because in Thunder they play 5th and 6th grade together, and so 7th grade is their first time where they're just playing as their own grade. And so, you know, you got guys that have been on 2 separate teams for 2 years, and now might be playing together for the first time as well. And so, you know, the exposure is always great, just getting them out there. You know, and like Coach Milbrandt said, you know, we push the fundamentals and all of that, but it is nice that they kind of understand the contact. they understand how to put pads on,
Yep.
and some of that stuff. So that's kind of nice.
It's things we take for granted.
Yes.
There's a certain way you have to put those on. That's for sure. Well, how has the season been going for you guys? Again, I think you had the win against Wahpeton, if memory serves. And how did things go against Central Cass?
Kind of like the 8th grade, there's a lot of kids out up at Central Cass. They got a lot of good athletes. Not a big fan of Monday games, especially on the road. But the kids battled hard. We had a pick 6 to start the game, and everything kind of went well right away. And then we faced some adversity the rest of the game, and we just got to talk about, every rep playing hard. You got to, in adversity, things aren't going our way. You're being held. You don't like it. We got to, how do we get past that? So it's good for them to have a little adversity. But overall, the season's been really good so far for the 7th graders. Kind of like Milbrandt alluded to, we've already had one game that was a 7th and 8th grade combined, and the other team brought a lot more 8th graders. So it turned into more of an 8th grade game with some 7th graders sprinkled in. So that's been an adjustment as well. And we got a couple more of those. So like you said, we got to kind of figure out how to get all the kids on the field.
The one game I saw with the 7th graders, you got some talent on that 7th grade squad. So things are looking up, especially in the specialists category.
Yeah, and we also have a lot of kids out for 7th grade this year. So I think we're too deep at all 3 wide receiver positions. We're too deep at the quarterback, too deep at the running back, and almost too deep at every lineman position. So, that's really good to see that we got the kids out and participating. We got a lot of good athletes out there, and kids that they rally to the ball. They want to play with each other, and that's really nice to see.
And if memory serves, you're kind of rotating a little bit, especially at the quarterback and running back spot. So it's nice to at least get those kids, all of them, get those reps.
Yeah, because 7th and 8th grade, you never know if some of those kids will stay out going into their freshman year, and we hope that they do. But just because you're one of the better athletes as a 7th and 8th grader doesn't mean you're going to be the better athlete as a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. So just letting them all get exposed, getting that playing time at those positions, trying different positions. Just like Coach Milbrandt said, in Thunder, there's weight limits to things. Now we got kids trying new spots, and just letting them experiment and see what maybe fits them best right now, knowing that they can always change positions as they grow.
I know I was talking to Leighton Hendrickson here not too long ago, and a little different when you go from one grade to the next. And is that something, too, you've seen? These kids like, wow, this is a little faster when you get to the older kids.
Yeah, and, I've been coaching 8th grade for the last couple of years. This year we decided to switch, and the one thing I noticed, there's a big growth difference physically from those 7th graders to those 8th graders, and so there's a huge growth there. And then 8th grade to 9th grade, there's a little one, and I feel like there's another big one kind of 9th to 10th, and as they move up. But one of the biggest differences for us is Thunder, the coaches can be on the field.
Yep.
7th grade you can, but we have always chose to start running plays in from the sidelines and getting the kids the experience of being responsible on the field to get themselves lined up and run plays and be able to bring them in and out and memorizing plays. We can't hold a playbook up and say this is what we're doing.
Right.
So just all those little things.
Now you got Wahpeton again on the road here on Monday night for a 7th grade game. What did you see out of that? Was it 16-0 win? I think that one that you can bring into the game Monday night.
The way the kids rallied to the ball, most of the tackles had 2 or 3 kids at the ball. We had a lot of kids staying home, really doing their jobs the way they're supposed to, and it's really awesome to see, when they all do it, how everything just works so well together. You get 2-3 kids rallying to the ball. You don't miss tackles. We hold them inside on the ends. We funnel everything back in. You're allowed to get 2 or 3 kids there. So they just got to maintain where they're supposed to be, their jobs. We had 2 interceptions in that game, trying to throw some deep balls, which was fine. They were 3rd and longs and things like that. But we think we fumbled down on the goal line. We were driving at the end of the game and then got a first down, knelt on the ball. Probably could have punched one in if we needed to. So I'm looking to maybe score a couple more points, clean up on the turnovers.
I didn't get a chance to ask this to Coach Milbrandt, but I'll ask you. Is it fun when that light bulb comes on for these kids and Oh, okay.
Oh, absolutely. Just to see him, and it changes from one game to the next, but when it does flip on, the amount of fun they're having when that happens, and it's just so much fun to coach on the sidelines because no matter what you call, that switch has been flipped, the light bulb's on, and they understand what they're supposed to be doing.
We'll talk more again as we get later in the year with junior high football. But again, Jimmy, appreciate you stopping by. Congratulations so far. Now go get a few more wins and see what happens.
Yeah, thanks. Go Highliners.
That is Coach Jimmy Howard from the 7th grade Highlander football team. We'll be back with more Highlander football coming up as Coach's Corner continues on the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corners, we continue our football, Highlander football segment and how the varsity is stepping in. Coach Travis Singen and senior Peyton Olson. Senior year for you, Peyton. How's it feel now to be on the top rung?
It's crazy to think about how many years I've been playing football, all back to 7th grade, 6th grade. A lot of years of football.
One of those Thunder football guys that have grown up.
Yeah.
Playing football and homecoming week too. So it's always a fun time. I know some coaches can't stand homecoming week because of the distractions, but players, you look forward to it. And do you look forward to it too? Getting ready here for Horace on Friday night.
Yep.
What do you expect out of the Hawks here coming up?
I expect they run a lot.
Something you've seen already. I mean, you've seen a lot of running teams.
Yeah.
So what is your job? Now you on the offensive line, Peyton? You saw last year and how in part of the offensive line last year the guys ran real well. What's your job, if you would? How would you describe your job as for that on the line?
Protecting the edge from Bryson, from getting sacked,
So would you be left tackle?
Yep.
So that's the blind side, which is the important side, isn't it, Coach Eng? And that's the important side.
Yes, it is.
Because you don't want that poor quarterback getting lit up from behind.
Yeah, no.
That would be a bad thing, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the Dickinson game, 18-6 final. And, I mean, this was a defensive game. I mean, the defense on both sides of the football, both teams played real well. Just your thoughts on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, our defense played lights out.
Yeah.
They really did. Defense played amazing. Offensively, we did not. We left points on the board, of course, missed extra point, missed field goal. We missed so many opportunities. We gotta clean it up. And I'll give Dickinson some credit. Their defense played really well, put us in some tough spots. But we got to respond. We did not respond really well to that game offensively. Defensively, 100%. And for the most part, it's the same guys. It isn't like I got 11 new guys going out on the field. So that part was a little frustrating. We respond really well on defense. Offensively, they smacked us around a little bit, and we didn't respond really well. And we got to learn from that.
Looked like maybe catching the ball was a little bit, not a lot, but a few.
Like I said, there wasn't like one glaring thing. Couple drop pass. Everything's a ripple down effect, right? Drop pass, miss block, miss assignment, didn't line up correctly. One little thing's not a big deal, but you compounds. Now we're playing some very good teams, and they blow it up on us. So one little mistake looks big, and then all of a sudden that's what I'm saying. We didn't recover. We did not. Okay, so we dropped the pass. Next play, let's move on. We didn't do a good job of that. That falls on the coaching staff. We got to do a better job of getting our guys ready and prepared for it.
And it's a learning experience when you come up this.
Yeah, we no doubt about it, right? So, not every play is going to be the best play call in the history of the world where we're thinking we're going to score on it. That's okay. So we got to come back, first down, drop pass. Okay, it's not the end of the world. Okay, 2nd and 10. Okay, miss block. All right, 3rd and 10. 2-yard gain. Now we got 4th and 8. Okay, so it's a bad series. So what? Okay, move out. Our defense goes out. Stops them. We go back out, and we're still lingering from that other drive, and that's where we got to improve.
Have a short memory.
Yes, that would be
Yep.
awesome. Yeah.
It's not, you want some amnesia when it
Oh,
comes
yeah.
to something like that.
Yeah, you do, and we talk about that. We have highs, and everything's going great, and we got to forget about those because we got to get back to work, and we're going to have those lows. And this was one of them where, we got the victory at Devil's Lake, but it was very similar.
Yeah.
Dickinson's probably a little bit better team, and it showed. Right, and that's why we didn't come out victorious on Friday.
Peyton, now as a senior, and you're you got hopefully about 7, 8 more games left to go, but one at a time. You got game come up with Horace. As a senior, what do you really take on that leadership role for a lot of these younger guys? Because there are a lot of younger guys that are padding up here this year for the Highlanders. So you take a little bit of that leadership role, you and some of the other seniors.
Oh yeah. We wanna.
Go ahead, you can keep talking. I got to get his attention.
We definitely gotta.
Yeah, we had some mic issues. You're okay, buddy. His is really hot, so it just. There we go. We can just go ahead. You can answer the question again, buddy, but you're okay. It's not all you. There's a mistake. We're learning from it. We're growing on this one. We're learning from it. But anyway, again, from a leadership standpoint for you, Peyton.
Yeah, we need for the future of the Lion Highlanders. We need to teach them better moves, better techniques, how to block better, how to come off the ball better. Simple things like that.
How about communication amongst you and the other linemen, and that you guys, you get up there, and now you got a new center with Christian Butler now has been center before he was off the ball, but just communication. Do you really take some pride into that and talking amongst yourselves?
Oh yeah. If we didn't have communication, we wouldn't know what we were doing at all. Like, we would have guys coming up through our gaps, and it wouldn't be good.
Well, I know what Coach Engen's answer is going to be, so I'll answer yours. What's going to be a key to get that homecoming W here on Friday night?
Clean up our act on offense, probably. Probably get off the ball more on run plays, and catch balls, and
The little
that's
things.
about it. Yeah,
The little
things, simple things. Yeah.
Clean up the little things. Now, after this next question to Coach Engen, there's going to be some uncomfortable silence, so enjoy this. But at the Powder Puff game on Monday night, there was a reverse and some halfback option passes. Did those coaches get them from their own playbook or not?
No, that must be their own playbook. We do not have those in our playbook. We can't, sometimes it's hard enough just to hand the ball off, let alone do a halfback pass.
Did you should see some of those girls say, "Hey, you guys, we need that speed on the outside."
You see some of the passes they
Yes.
were
Yeah,
throwing?
Victoria
Amazing.
Sanchez had a couple of
Victoria
nice
did a great
passes.
job. She was
So-
awesome out there.
There's your next quarterback right there,
Oh,
Bryson.
There you go. Yeah.
Bryson's
Put
looking over
Bryson on the spot.
He's looking over his shoulder. Oh, well, gentlemen, again, West Fargo Horace. We spoiled their homecoming last year, so they're probably going to come in here. And this is a team that beat Wahpeton, and they beat Devil's Lake. So this is not going to be a team that's in their second year of varsity ball.
Yeah, no, they're loaded. They're a very good team, and they're hungry, and they got a taste of victory. They've been in tough games, and they pulled them off and won. So, yeah, this is a game that, once again, the more aggressive team is going to come out victorious, right? That's how it's going to be. And I've said that for the last couple of years is the more aggressive we are, our O-line, D-line, they'll dictate the game. And our defense last week was dictating the game, right? And we didn't do a very good job offensively, all around, really. But our O-line, D-line dictates how we play. Everything will flow through those guys, and it's really fun to watch us play when they're moving. And they can do it. It's just got to be more consistent.
And the size is there, too. I mean, you look at the size you've got, and not only having the size, athletes. You've got good athletes up there.
Yeah, we really do. You know, across our whole line with Peyton and Will and Christian and Brent Mueller and Scott Rohde, you know, it is some beef up front for us, which really helps. But they can all move well and everything, so it does a really nice job. And then you flip them, you know, and you just put them on the D line for the most part. And we got a couple different ones in there, but they are aggressive. When they're aggressive and communicating, like Peyton said, it is. It's a fun group to coach and to watch.
Well, it's going to be a fun group Friday night, 7 o'clock, homecoming kickoff with the West Fargo Horse Hawks coming to Tanna Field. And it's going to be a good game. Every Friday night is going to be a fun night. So we're looking forward to homecoming again here on Friday night. Coach Engen, Peyton Olson, gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on Friday.
All right,
Yep,
thanks.
thank you.
You bet. Senior Peyton Olson, head coach Travis Engen from the Highliner football team, back with more Coach's Corner from the Hack here on the Highliner Activity Network. And we are back here at Coach's Corner here in the Highliner Activity Network and the Highliner Cross Country team. Next on our agenda, Coach Deb Bilkey joining us. Coach, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
Weather's been good for you so far this year, knock on wood.
Yeah, it was a tad bit warm yesterday, but it's okay.
And you look at the way this team has been running. We've so far, this has been a very consistent group, boys and girls this year for you guys, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Again, in a given race, they can add on or subtract, 10, 20 seconds here or there. But it just depends on the course and the conditions and how much rest we've had beforehand.
You were in Castleton here on Tuesday. You said it was going to be a flat course, was it?
Yeah, it was very flat. The last two courses have been very flat. We're out in Bismarck, and it's hard to believe Bismarck is flat, but they do have a flat course out there at McDowell Dam, and we ran there on Saturday. We went out to Bismarck not knowing if we were going to run or not because the air quality was very poor when we left, and then it had to reach a certain level before we could race. So we drove out not knowing if we were going to race or not, and we were fortunate that we could. And then with 2 days off, and we turned around and went back to another race in Castleton. And I do this once during the year where we race 3 times in 8 days, which it's tough, but it's a good test for those athletes, and it makes them stronger. So yeah, Castleton was flat. I think I had to call one thing a little incline. I don't think it was a hill or anything. It was just a little incline.
Just a little incline.
Yeah, it was pretty flat.
Again, and the girls took first place. As you look at all 5 runners in the top 40, you had 4 in the top 20, 3 in the top 10. So another good showing by the young ladies.
Yeah, when we go to Castleton, there's a lot of schools that are really comparable in size to us, which allows us to compete as a team. And we only had 5 girls running yesterday, and you need 5 for a score. So we were fortunate we didn't have to use a ghost runner, and so it filled in. And we had 4 girls in the top 20, with Reagan winning the race, and then Greta third, Cadence 9th, and Trisha was 18th.
Yep.
18th.
And then Autumn Anderson coming into 37th. Now you look over at the boys' side, you had 4 runners there, and this young man, Simon Trapp, had a great race. He was your top finisher.
Yeah, Corbin's out with COVID right now, so we won't have him for a week here or so. But yeah, Simon got to try on his new spikes for the first time ever, and it was to his benefit. Yeah, he PR'd by over 30 seconds. So his goal this year was to get under 20. And for a 7th grade boy to go under 20 is kind of tough. So he ended up with 19:27. And I looked it up last night. Right now there's only 5 boys in the state of North Dakota that are 7th graders that have competed at a 5K. So he's one of those. It's rare for a 7th grade boy to be competing, and he ran very well. The rest of them, the other 3, Jack and Elijah and Trevor, were all kind of in a pack together there, and they finished really well. Sometimes we forget that, we are successful, especially like with Trevor. He ended up in 40th, but he beat 102 kids, so they all raced very well. I believe Elijah PR'd. That was his best time ever.
Yeah, 2022 for Elijah. And then you look down to in your JVers that are running. How are they coming along as the season has progressed?
Oh, they get better every time, and like I told them yesterday too, yesterday was a testament to how they felt and how they looked running, because when you run a 5K, when you sprint that distance, it's 2 days is not a lot of time to recover. And so, and then it was warm out yesterday with the sun beating on them. But they look strong. They did well. In our boys 3K, Bryson Berg, 7th grader, was competing in. They had a JV junior high, and he ended up 16th out of, I don't remember what did I put up.
Let's see, that would be 126.
Yeah, 126 kids, and those range from everywhere from 7th grade all the way up, probably through there's a couple juniors in there, but it's 7th, 8th, 9th, maybe some 10th graders in there. So yeah, he did very well, and not far behind him was Austin, is another little 7th grader. So, and then on the girls' side, Addie Fetch was our leading runner. She's come a long ways this year. She asked me the first day if anybody really enjoys running. And so she's come from, I don't think I really like to run, to actually enjoying it. She probably will admit that she does enjoy running now. So it's nice to see them improve from meet to meet and practice to practice.
Well, you mentioned 3 meets in 8 days. The 3rd meet coming up this Saturday is the blue and white meet at Bjornson, and it always starts with elementary. You have an elementary race right at the beginning.
Yeah, that's our finale for our elementary cross country program, and we start that at 10:30. They run anywhere from 3/4 to a mile. We try to make the course kind of fun. It's not necessarily always exactly a mile, but we take them on Bjornson, and they run through the trees and, a few things like that. So it's just an elementary race, and they get to come through the finish line where they have Ryan from Heroes Timing will be there. So he'll have the inflatable, which it's fun for the kids to experience that. And then we've changed it up a little bit because there might be some rain. And so if the course gets soft, we want our varsity athletes to run first. And so we are going to switch things around so that at 11 o'clock, we're going to start with the girls 5K, the varsity girls 5K, and then the varsity boys 5K. And then after that, we have a JV junior high 4K. So we're bumping up these kids just a little bit. We're 6 weeks into the program, so it's time to challenge them a little bit. And then we'll do the 4K girls and then the 4K boys.
How are the numbers at elementary? You got some good numbers at the elementary level?
Yeah, we went, it was K through 6, and we ended up with 95 kids. Our biggest class was the second grader, or second grade, and we had 27 out of that group. And then the rest were right around that 10, 12.
Okay.
So we had 4 weeks of practice, game type things for them on a lot of Wednesdays. And then, like I said, this is one way that we finish up their program, is offering them a chance to run at the blue-white.
And the season you're over halfway done. I'm
Yeah.
assuming with your season. Hard to believe that.
Yeah, I was telling the kids that the other day, that I think it was Monday was our halfway point if you start at the beginning and the state meet, if you go that way. So yeah, it's going fast, but the kids, the athletes are making the most of each meet. So that's one good thing. There's no regrets really. You know, I don't hear a lot of I should have or I could have.
Right.
You know, so they're making the most of each meet and accepting what they've done, and yeah, so it's been pretty good.
Well, we'll be talking to one of those athletes coming up here as Greta Govan is waiting in the wings for her chance to join us. And, Coach, again, halfway through the season, but this weekend is the biggie with the blue-white. Let's hope the rain holds off, though. Let's see if it holds off. At 10:30, the elementary, and then 11 o'clock, you'll start with the varsity girls.
Correct.
All right, so head on out to Bjornson Bjornson Golf Course this weekend for the blue-white meet here for cross country for the Highlanders. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
You bet. Coach Deb Bilkey joining us from the Highlanders. We'll be back with Greta Govan on the way next as Coach's Corner continues on the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network, and continuing in here with cross country, and now joined by Greta Govan. Greta, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. It's been halfway through the year. Is that kind of weird for you? Is it? Hey, it's already halfway there.
It is weird, yeah, for sure.
Well, how would you say you have been running outside of times? How have you felt you've run so far this year?
I've ran okay, I think, in my opinion. Not exactly where I want to be quite yet, but still got some time to get there, I think. So
Did you set a goal at the beginning of the year?
I did, yeah.
And what was that?
Well, I want to get all state, so got to get there. I would obviously hope to PR, get better every year. So still working towards that, but
What would be a PR for you? Under 20?
1930s, like 6 is my PR. So
That's your PR. So
Yep.
but you got time.
yeah.
You got time. I know I've asked you this before, and I probably know the answer, and people that know you know the answer. What is your training regimen? How does Greta Govan get ready for the season, and then what you do during the season?
I run a lot during the summer, I'd say. Probably like 6 days a week, especially more as the season gets closer. During the season, I just follow Belky's plan. You got to kind of like trust the process, basically. So just hope you peak at the right time, kind of.
Well, I know I had Reagan Berg here, and the two of you went for a run in Wapaton during the State Cal Ripken.
Yes.
You'll get it in any chance you get. You're going to get
Yeah.
a run in, aren't you?
Yeah, and that was nice. It was a change of scenery, kind of. So
Did you go through the zoo?
Yeah, no, we didn't.
But just get out, get a run in, but now as you look forward to like this weekend, the Bjornson at Bjornson with the blue and white junior, you still got some time left as a Highlander, a couple more years. But every race is a fun one, but this one really is special when it's the home one, isn't it?
Yes, it is really fun. You get a few more fans, some of your friends and stuff, and with the little kids too, they like recognize you. So especially like now that we're running first, because you can kind of get it done right away. You don't have to wait around for it. So I'm excited.
Is that kind of weird though that you're going to be running first? Is it a little
Yeah.
different this time?
Kind of. We've had a few meets where we ran first, but I think it'll be good. Especially we'll get there plenty early, so it's not going to be like jumping in there. But
Sitting there, you'll have plenty of time to go. What kind of a course would you say is your favorite? Do you like flat, hilly? What would you say?
I would prefer flat all the time. So like Grand Forks, the EDC course, whatever, is probably one of my favorites. There's barely any hills on that. I don't even know if there is any. And it's really nice. I like it.
So the Central Cass course was probably perfect
Yeah,
for you.
it was nice. Yes.
The one incline, as Coach called it. She had the one incline. And 20, 58 So you want to take another minute off that? Is that's
Yeah.
your goal?
Yeah. Yes. I haven't quite been running, like I said, how I wanted, and I think I can get there, though, just based on what I've been feeling as I've been racing. It's kind of weird running, especially in a smaller meet, kind of get alone after,
Yeah.
So I'm excited I know on Saturday there'll be a lot of good girls. The top, 2 girls teams in the state will be there, so there'll be a lot, around my area, so I'm excited for that.
When you finish the race, when you're done and you go and look at the watch, do you kind of look at that time right away, or you not worry about it right away?
I'd say as of now, I kind of am wanting to focus more on time because place is later on. You know, EDC and state is when that really starts to matter. But I'd say time, since it's such an individual thing, kind of, you just want to keep getting faster. So not something I necessarily worry about because conditions are always different, courses are always different. But yeah, something I want to improve.
Final question for you, Greta. As we were talking about a lot of these young runners, you find yourself too as a leader on this team. You, along with Reagan, kind of helping some of these young runners along.
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely a different aspect than I'm used to because we've had senior heavy teams the past years I've been here. So I actually do like it. Yeah, it's fun to kind of be a captain and mentor them, kind of. So
and talk them up. All right. Well, Greta, continued success. Good luck this weekend, and let's see that 1936 when we get into October and late October.
Yes, I hope so.
All right. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you again.
Thanks.
That is Greta Gobin joining us from the Highlander Cross Country team. We'll be back with more at Coach's Corner from the Hack here on the Highlander Activity Network. And we're back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network, and we're into the tennis world. And the old man on this year's tennis team is Miles Taylor joining us. Miles, how you doing?
Pretty good. It's going.
So
okay.
How does it feel being an old man on the team here as a junior?
At the beginning, it was a little rough because it was a new set of people. So it was rough for the first couple practices, but then we started talking more and doing that stuff. So yeah,
Being
it's
a little
good.
more of that leader.
Yeah.
Well, you got to cut the ribbon at the new court. So,
I did.
That had to be kind of nice being one of the captains doing that.
Yeah, it was really fun.
How are those new courts?
I only played on them once.
That Shanley match, I'm
yes,
assuming.
I played there Shanley, and I liked them. They were fine, just like normal courts.
Tennis courts are tennis courts.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. Well, how would you describe? I've never had a chance to get you in the hot seat and talk, but how would you describe Miles Taylor as a player?
I would probably describe myself as I like being emotional, not
Yep.
emotional.
You're going to be an emotional now. No.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I like just being positive and
Yeah. Do you call yourself a
really-
baseline player? Do you like to play the net? Does it depend on your opponent?
yes, it does depend on my opponent. So if they're hitting good ground strokes, I would probably stay more back because then they could just smoke me down the line or something. So
Right.
I'm not too good at the net, but I'm fine with the net. So
I noticed at the Shanley match, your serves, do you feel your serves are getting a little bit better too? I mean, they're not 100-mile-per-hour serves, but do you feel your serves are getting a little bit better?
yes, it feels like I could place them a lot more, go down the line or out wide. So it helps me a lot more.
Controlling the serve is a key for you then.
Yes, it is.
I suppose that's how you can beat your opponent, is where you're going to be placing that serve. And now your doubles partner is waiting in the wings, and he'll be joining us here in a moment. How's it been having Kellen as your doubles partner this year? How's it been working for you?
It's been working out pretty well for me, actually. I like staying in the back, and he likes going up at net and attacking everything. So it's It works out pretty well.
I was gonna ask, do the two of you mesh? And I'm sure maybe Coach Nielsen thought that, hey, we got a net player, we got a baseline player, let's put them together and see what happens.
Yep.
Did you have any goals for yourself or as a team, Miles, as the season began, or did you? How did you approach the season as the leader on this team as a junior?
I really wanted to stay close in matches instead of getting bageled every set. So I just really wanted to keep in.
Bageled means not getting a set. Just for those that losing 6-love, 6-love, 6-love. Let's get a couple of numbers on that side of the. And how do you feel that's been going? Do you feel you've been progressing as the season has gone on?
Yes, I do think I've gotten a lot better since the beginning.
What do you still need to work on? What's you need to get better at as you progress here?
Probably my forehands. I need to get lower on those.
Okay.
Those are my weakness.
That's the weakness.
Yep.
And we won't. Hopefully, no opponents are watching, so we're not getting any secrets away here on this one. As the season progresses here, not much time left. I mean, you're getting a lot of matches in here in a short period of time. What would you still like to accomplish as you look towards the end of the season?
I probably want to focus more on singles. I want to really do good. I'll probably go EDC singles for EDC.
Right.
But I just want to focus more and hit the ball in.
Just see what happens. Just go out there, play, have fun, and see what happens.
Yep.
All right. Well, Miles, we appreciate you joining us. We've got Kellen Westman that is joining us. He'll be joining us here in just a few seconds as we continue. More tennis. Congratulations on the season, and we'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
That's Miles Taylor, junior from the Highlander Tennis. We'll be back with more Highlander from the Hack here on the Coach's Corner Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner in the Highlander Activity Network, and now we're joined by Kellen Westman from the Highlander tennis team. How's it going?
It's going pretty well.
First chance you've had to get in on the show here, and I guess just the overall, your thoughts, Kellen, on how the season has gone for you individually this year.
Well, it's been a rough year, and if you look at it in wins and losses, but I've really improved a lot from the start of the year to where I am now, playing the number 2 from Red River, the number 2 from Cheyenne, and all across the EDC and Minot and those teams. Their number 2s have pushed me a lot in singles, and then in doubles I'm competing with Miles at number 1, so I'm playing even higher level tennis, which it's made me a lot better, even if the scorecard doesn't always say that. So it's looking a lot better for me this year in terms of where my skill is at. So that's really good.
I know Miles mentioned that you like to play up and play the net. How would you describe yourself as a player?
I'm really aggressive. I don't like to sit back and wait for opportunities, which is something I need to work on. I like to find a way into the net, even if it might not be the greatest shot to go in on. So, yeah, just really aggressive is what I'd say. I like to get to the net and try and put points away really fast. And that's something I have to get better at trying to do, or trying to find the times where I need to sit back and just play consistent.
And then, too, as one of the elder statesmen, if you will, too, and as a leader, too, you're playing with as a number 1 in doubles, playing as a number 2. So do you see yourself as kind of a leader on this team?
I guess, yeah, I'd say so. It's I know from when I was in JV, when you look up to the varsity guys, even if they're just sophomores or just juniors, it's kind of a big jump to go from, well, when you're practicing with your other JV guys and you go to practice with the varsity guys, it can be kind of intimidating. So I do like to talk to the JV guys and have conversations with them about how their tennis is going, about how they think they're improving this year. After they play, they come to watch us, and as soon as I'm done, I like to ask them how their matches went, what they worked on, stuff like that, just to let them know that someday they'll be up there. And so it's good to take interest in what the younger guys are doing too, because they're also working as hard as we are. So.
Have you seen the speed of the game increase?
I totally have, and that's one of the biggest things that's improved for me is I was playing JV last year. I touched 3 4 varsity matches in a tournament last year, so I wasn't really seeing the speed of forehands, backhand serves that I am now. So I've really improved on moving forward with the returns and trying to get it back in to get the point started, and not trying to smoke it or hitting it into the net. So that's one of the biggest things I've improved on is picking up on faster balls, harder hit balls, trying to get them back in.
What do you feel you need to work on as you progress here for the rest of the season?
I still need to focus on getting as many balls back in as I can, because I do tend to still try and rush some of those shots where their serves are coming in a lot harder. And yeah, just I rush a lot of things. I do like to play more aggressively, which sometimes I'm too aggressive and I hit shots far short. So I just need to work on a little bit more patience when it comes to getting a racket on the ball and getting it deep or short or wherever I'm trying to put it.
Well, as you look towards the rest of the season, did you have any goals that you wanted to accomplish, or just things you're thinking about that you would like to accomplish here?
Well, coming into the season, I knew that I was not going to be looking at my success as winning matches. I knew that I've watched varsity since I joined, and I know that those guys compete at a really high level. And so I'm trying to find my way to that level this year by playing those guys and just trying to keep up with them, which is going really well. We had a tight match against West Fargo yesterday, and I'm keeping up with those guys a lot better as I see myself going through the season. We started off with some tough teams that they were hitting shots that I was not able to return, and in a week after that, I was returning those shots, and I'm just seeing myself progress more and more. And that's just really the goal I wanted to see, is getting better to play on the level with these guys where they are.
So when you get to the EDC, you feel you'll be getting there.
Yeah, I'll definitely be getting closer. I'm hoping to, and then play a lot more over the summer, play a little bit this winter, going to Jamestown, and then hopefully come into next year at a much higher level than I am now to try and not only stick with these guys, but start really competing with them and making them work.
Final question for you, Kellen. What would you call a strength? What is a strength for you? You talk about being aggressive, but what would you say is your strength?
My serving has come a really long way since I started. It was something I struggled with a lot, and I found a good kick serve, and I'm working on a solid flat serve. So my consistency is way up, and both shots are hard, and they've got good bounce. So it stops me from getting crushed on the first shot, and that's really benefiting me this year against players who are going to smack a really hard shot off of a dinky first serve. So I got to get it back in, and I got to get it hard. So that's something that's probably a big strength of mine to get points going in my serve game.
All right. Well, Kellen, we appreciate you joining us. Congratulations on the season so far, and good luck here in the second half of the year for the Highlander tennis team.
Thank you.
That is Kellen Westman joining us. We'll be back and wrap things up here from Coach's Corner from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highline Activity Network, wrapping up another edition of the show tonight. Another great show for us, and homecoming week again. So here's what's coming up. We've got volleyball here with Fargo Shanley here at the Hack tomorrow night, 4:30 for the C Squad, and for the freshmen, 5:45 for the varsity, and for the junior varsity, and then the varsity at 7 o'clock. Of course, that is depending on how the matches go throughout the night. We were a little late in the matches last night. Then on Friday, the pep rally here at the Hack at 2 o'clock, and homecoming royalty will be announced then. And, of course, the football game at 7 o'clock. Kickoff from Hannah Field as the Highlanders take on the Horace Hawks and out of West Fargo. And that will be, again, 7 o'clock right here on the Highlander Activity Network. And, again, just a reminder, spread the word on how folks can find us. All you have to do is go to YouTube and you search Highlander Activities or Highlander Activity Network. And if you come here to the Hack, you'll see a QR code up on one of our banners. You take a shot of that. That, too, will take you to the page where you can subscribe and enjoy all of our Highlander activities that we have throughout the year, live or archive. You can watch that Powder Puff game. What a great game, won by the juniors 20-14 on Monday night. A couple of long runs by Maddie Wendell, a couple of touchdown passes, Sydney Larson to Tessa Olson. So it was a fun night on Monday night, and you can watch that again on YouTube on the Highlander Activity channel. And that is where you can watch that game as well. So again, volleyball tomorrow, the pep rally on Friday afternoon, and then the football game on Friday night. Want to thank again our guests here this evening, Tom Milbrandt and Jimmy Howard from junior high football, Coach Travis Ingen and Peyton Olson from the varsity football team, Greta Govan and Coach Deb Bilke from cross country, and Kellen Westman and Miles Taylor from the Highlander tennis team joining us here tonight. And, of course, as usual, Jaden Johnson, our cameraman and technical director, and you for joining us here tonight. But one last thing, congratulations to our own Derek Bear, homecoming king for Valley City State University. So a shout out to Derek Bear as he is a homecoming king for the Vikings having their homecoming this weekend. No show next week. I have some other duties with another one of my jobs, so no show next week. So we'll be back on the 3rd of October, or the 4th of October, our next show, Coach's Corner, here from the Hack, right here on the Highlander Activity Network.